Greetings, it's Catherine here from Moonstarlodge in Southern Georgian Bay area, tiny Ontario, and I'm here with the weekly reading for May 15th to 21st, 2023. And it's an interesting week. I've been looking at my charts, realizing that there was a new moon coming, and sure enough, the new moon is on May 19th at 11:53 a.m. and that's when it hits in my latitude and longitude. And there's no apogees or perigees, but this is a black moon. It's the third new moon in a season with 4 new moons, so it does have an overarching extra bit of fun to it. And on that day, we are moving into the next grandmother. We are leaving listening woman and moving into storyteller. So I'm going to let you know that storyteller is the guardian of the medicine stories. And medicine and teachings are the same thing to us. So she's the guardian of the medicine stories, the keeper of Heyoka medicine and humor. The teacher who teaches without pointing a finger, the preserver of speaking from personal experience and truth. She teaches us how to teach through telling stories that contain lessons, how to balance the sacredness with irreverence using humor creatively, how to speak from our experience without judging others or being self-righteous. How to be a student in life as well as the teacher, preserving the wisdom gained. She teaches us how to speak the truth. So that's storyteller. So what this week tells us is we're in 4th quarter of the moon cycle of listening woman. So we're letting go, finishing off anything that doesn't serve us about our abilities to connect with source, are drawing down the wisdom from the creator, and now we're moving into this new moon. And it's consistent with moving out of Taurus and moving into Gemini. So we're dealing with 2 different sets of astrological realities in this same week. And that's been pretty much the way it's been this whole year so far. So originally I was going to use the decks of James Eads, which I've never used on camera, the Cosmovisions series. I've been a collector of James Eads things now for a few years when I found out about him. He's a wonderful artist. A lot of his work is a lot like Van Gogh, which appeals to me artistically. However, when push came to shove spiritually, it was not James Eads this week, so I'll bring him out another time. I had to go back to the moon and the moon cards, the Wandering Moon from Rachel Jean. And so the Macabre Tarot by Sam West is the ancestors this week. The Voice of Souls Oracle by Isabel Surf. We're using the Wandering Echo Major Arcana by Rachel Jean. The Embroidered Graveyard. And I can't remember the author. We'll get it down. So there's the Wandering Graveyard. Or the Embroidered Graveyard. The Wandering Graveyard. Let's hope not. The Embroidered Graveyard. This is the Wandering Moon Tarot, which I'm using as the principal tarot. The Wandering Soul Oracle, also by Rachel Jean. Something that just came into me, which tickles me, is the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle. So we're still with moons. And the Spirit de la Lune, which is a round astrological deck. So we have all these various decks, and what we're going to do, starting out with the moons and sort of morphing into my skeletons, because, you know, I like that. And I've had some feedback about people liking me to just randomly pull a card as a shout out to someone, so we'll see if that comes up today. So let's go to the cards, Brian. I have to say that sometimes the cards are very obtuse and very difficult to get the meaning out of. Maybe it was Jorge here. I gave him a little cranial sacral earlier. But these cards are very clear, like really clear. This is an easy read. And our significator is the Page of Moons, or the Page of Cups. And it's about being creative, being the poet, the dreamer, looking at emotions, looking at learning about self, looking at a new set. The page is about learning, the student of something new, and it's emotional, and it's artistic, and it's lovely, and it's dreamy, and it's clarified by the abundance card from the Oracle of Souls. And that's wonderful. This tells us that the spirit, this is all about spirits in this deck, and what the spirits are giving us information about. So our ancestors, guides, teachers, angels, archangels, those of the highest and best intentions, the master healers, the saints, all those categories of people in spirit are coming through with information saying, you have abundance, be playful with it, and take the time to learn. Why? Why do we need that? Because we have the Ten of Swords card here. And Ten of Swords is an ending. It's so dead and done. It's throw it in the bin time. It's done. Something that we've been dealing with intellectually, spiritually, has come to an end. And how much clearer is this? The Death card. So it's a transformation time. Death isn't about actual biological death of some entity. This is about transformation. So something is transforming. We're expected to be dreaming and creative and artistic about it, knowing that we have the ancestors have our backs, really. And why is something ending? Because here's the World card. This is the end of the major arcana. It's saying we have accomplished the end of a journey that is not just day-to-day stuff. This is a major card, and this is the last card in the sequence. It says we are complete in something that affects us karmically. It's part of our destiny. It's part of why we chose to come into our respective lives. It's clarified by absolute protection. So again, this is the embroidered graveyard card, in saying that as it is a complete circle of protection, we have the complete circle of the ending of something, and we know that ending is here. We are co-creatively with our ancestors manifesting something new. How do we manifest? How do we think about it? Well, we utilize the energy of the star, and the star is hopes and dreams, and it's also about healing something. Healing isn't just a physical phenomena. Again, it's healing a situation, healing us through this death transition. And how do we do that? With the Four of Daggers. And that's from Sam West's deck. And so this is an ancestor card. The ancestors are saying, by all means, you need to take rest and withdrawal. You need to deeply meditate on this so that you're not drifting into anything illusory or otherwise possibly misdirecting this new adventure. So this is all about taking time. You have the time to be dreamy here. Dreaming with the wheel, as we call it. So the Page of Swords is the beginning, the incubation of mental clarity and acuity. So a new idea is forming from all this dreaming and collaboration with the ancestors. And this We Moons and Souls card is the card of faith. And I think that's a beautiful card. I'm deeply touched by the art of Terry Foss. It says we need to have faith in this new endeavor. Why? Because the Eight of Wands is coming up, which means it's going to go like stink. It's the energy is going to suddenly pick up from this dreamy, thoughtful time, and it's going to go, and it's clarified by the escape card. So we are escaping what no longer is working. What's done, it's done, it's done. We are escaping, it's going full speed. And these two cards are interesting. I actually had to ask Brian to douse and make sure that the Two of Swords was an appropriate card for here. And this card that clarifies it is the waxing crescent moon, which is about expansion. So let's talk about why. People misunderstand the Two of Swords. The old original traditional meaning, or the old Marseille cards and some of the decks from 500 years ago, the Two of Swords is a pair of knights with swords crossed in complete connection and balance. It's a truce. It's coming to peace. And in more modern decks, like the Rider-Waite-Smith, it's a woman with her back to the water, so she's not including emotion. She's sticking with the clarity of the swords. She's blindfolded to everything else. It's an internal process, but the swords are still crossed across her chest. Her heart is at peace. Her heart is in balance. So when we recognize that this is coming to this new direction, we're leaving things behind, we're coming to something new. This time of introspection allows us to understand that we will feel a sense of balance. We won't feel imbalanced by the energy of it all. The escape here gives us a sense of peace and balance. And the Moon card is about expansion. So you can flip the camera, Brian. That's very clear. This tells me this isn't just a reading for 2 or 3 people in my audience today. This is beyond just a collective general reading that's going to hit 66% if you bell curved it. This is touching probably 90 to 95% of us. And this is a karmic thing. It's about the way of right relationship with the timing of the energies on this planet. Now, it would be an interesting weekend to kind of take a swerve, because in Canada, at least, it's the Victoria May 24th holiday weekend. We could get distracted from plans and get into a place of withdrawal and debauchery, if you if you wanted to get extreme about it. But Spirit is saying stay focused. Use the energy of the new moon for this co-creative time, because we have the coming in of storyteller. So there's a teaching medicine, and there's also the Gemini aspect coming in this new moon that's a black moon. So I think that's really, really wonderful. And we're coming off of the Tasseomancy class, which was yesterday, and we're coming into the beginnings of the tarot journey, which I'm extremely excited about as we move again over the summer into the fall, and the psychospiritual development and the consciousness classes which are part of the shamanic mentoring that we're doing. So this speaks volumes to me personally, as much as anything. I will be passing on the medicine teachings to another generation. All right, so if you've liked this video, give us a thumbs up. It's really important. I don't know if people understand the Google dynamic and statistics, but they only support stations which have high numbers of likes and high numbers of subscribers. So you're doing us a favor and keeping us in the queue by giving us a like and a subscribe. If you can, send me a coffee, put a comment in, let me know how the week is working out for you, and we'll go from there. Aho, miigwech.